The Fall of Knix, A Teacher's Trial. Episode 4, First Class Trouble. It was a bright Monday morning. The air buzzed with the usual sounds of a new week, school bell ringing, students chattering, and footsteps hurrying across tiled floors. But for Knix, this Monday felt heavier than the rest. He was scheduled to teach SS2B again. He packed his books slowly, then stood and looked out the staff room window. The sky was blue, peaceful, but peace was not what waited for him in that class. As the bell rang, Knix picked up his marker and walked towards the class. His shoes echoed down the hallway, and with every step, he reminded himself, stay calm, stay in control, do not react. When he entered the classroom, a few students stood to greet him. "Good morning, sir," some muttered. "Good morning," Knix replied, placing his books on the table. Zita wasn't in class yet. Knix noticed it immediately. He began the lesson anyway. "Today we're going to talk about opportunity cost. Who remembers what it means?" A few hands went up. He picked a girl named Adaora. "It means the next best thing you give up when you make a choice," she said shyly. "Perfect," Knix smiled. "If you have 1,000 euro and you choose to buy shoes instead of a meal, the cost of that decision is not the money. It's the meal you didn't get. That's your opportunity cost." The class nodded. For the first time in weeks, Knix felt he was getting through to them. Then, the classroom door burst open. Zita walked in. His steps were slow and bold, like someone entering his personal kingdom. His shirt was untucked, his belt missing, and his socks barely pulled up. He wore a mischievous smirk like a badge of honor.
He didn't greet. He didn't apologize. He walked to the back, dragged his chair with noise, and sat.
Knix paused briefly, but continued his lesson. "As we were saying..." "Sir, is this economics or a hunger seminar?" Zita interrupted loudly, arms crossed behind his head. Laughter erupted. Knix's face remained calm, though his chest tightened. He faced the board and ignored the comment. "Let's say you had the chance to either go to the movies or revise for a test. If you pick the movies, what's the opportunity cost?" "The knowledge you missed," a boy answered. "Exactly," Knix said, turning back. "So life is full of decisions and..." From the back, a chalk came flying, hitting the board just inches from Knix's head. The class went dead silent. Knix turned slowly. Zita sat back, smiling. "Oops, my hand slipped." Knix stared at him for a full 5 seconds. Inside, his blood boiled, but he reminded himself of the rule. "Zita," he said quietly, "come to the front." Zita stood, strolled up casually, and stood right in front of the class. Knix looked at him. "Do you understand the topic?" "Nope," Zita replied boldly, "because I don't care about your boring lessons." The students gasped. Knix's hands clenched behind his back. Zita leaned forward. "And you can't do anything about it, because if you touch me, you'll lose your job." Silence filled the room like fog. Knix's heart pounded. Sweat gathered under his collar. He took a deep breath. "Go back to your seat." Zita grinned and turned away, but not before whispering, "I own this class." Knix didn't say another word. He completed the lesson as best he could, his voice tight but controlled. When the bell rang, he walked out quietly. Back in the staff room, he sat down, numb. He had seen disrespect before, but this was different. This wasn't just rebellion, it was mockery of justice. The rules had become weapons in Zita's hands.
Knix opened his diary and wrote, "Today I stood face to face with bold disrespect. I followed the rules, I kept my cool. But how long can you hold back when you're being pushed every single day? I fear a storm is coming. I just don't know if I will survive it."